After the multi-TC version of the Grand Frustrator design went live on my channel, Eric, one of my subscribers, made an open call for a Zerg to build this base on a Hypop vanilla server. Dozens answered the call and we ended up building that beast on Rustafied Medium III. In this video, I'll share with you what we learned, how we solved practical issues with the build, and which improvements we made. One thing we realized is that preparation is needed. Before you start building the base, make sure a few requirements are satisfied. Have a starter base where you can do the initial crafting. Have a large furnace base going, as you'll need a lot of metal fragments. Learn the essential BPs before starting to build it, which should at least be high external walls, ideally stone but wood can work as well, garage doors, shotgun traps, large furnace, floor grills, reinforced glass windows and ladders. Finally, stock up on gears because you're gonna need loads of them. You can claim the area by early putting down the core and the external tool cupboards, even if you're still collecting blueprints and resources. The external TCs alone take 48 rockets to raid, which makes them an excellent early game storage system. When building the external TCs, try to always build them with the same internal layout, so all TCs are accessed by placing the roof the same way. This prevents confusion when maintaining the upkeep. Make sure the TC is far enough forward so everybody can reach the code log easily. At the same time, make sure that the TC is not too far left or right, or it might be susceptible to splash damage. If the TC gets destroyed, or if you need to destroy it, it can be replaced. This is best done from the rear of the external bunker, as you will only be able to place it far away from you. Make sure you get the orientation right so that the code log will be accessible. On the build server, we had a perfectly flat map. In normal maps, however, perfectly flat spots are rare. If you're building in a non-flat area, use stairs to change the elevation level. In some cases, you might not be able to place one of the elevated triangle foundations of the TC bunker. One solution is to build out one more square and check there if it is possible. Another solution is, given that you can place at least one of the triangle foundations, to fill up the other foundation with low walls. Please note that you might have to change the placement of the box and the TC, since the bunker can only be opened from one side. In conclusion, even if the build site is not completely flat, you can still build the multi-TC Grand Frustrator, which gives you much more options for choosing a suitable location. Once the TCs are down, the next goal is to secure the compound. In the video, we used 6 high external gates flanked by 1 high external wall on each side. While this creates nice symmetry and fit, it had 2 downsides. You need to find the gate and spend 750 scrap to learn it, and then you need to save up 60 gears to build 6 of them. In-game, we therefore decided to only build 2 entrances and use normal building blocks and sheet metal doors instead of high external gates. To get the compound tight, that is to avoid cracks in the walls through which attackers can scout and shoot you, I developed the following placement strategy. For the sections without doors, we start with the first wall by clipping it into the side of one of the external TCs. Then we add the second wall. Before placing the third wall, we check how close it gets to the second external TC. If necessary, we fill the gap with foundations and walls, and only place the third high external wall once it clips into them. Instead of walls, you can even use window frames and reinforced glass windows if you want to allow your clan members to check the surroundings from within the compound. For the sections that shall have exits, we first build the following foundation footprint going out from one of the TCs. Then place one of the wall going out from the other TC and check how close the second wall gets to the doorway that we were just building. If necessary, add more foundations and walls to the existing foundations. Use window frames and door frames to complete the entrance area. Then place the second high external wall. With this strategy, you should end up with a tightly sealed compound without making any mistakes. High external walls have the advantage that they make laddering into the compound difficult and costly in terms of meds. To prevent people from laddering over the external TCs and building blocks, place barricades on top of them. You may have noticed that there are still gaps in the external TCs. Leave them open if you want to use them as shooting ports, otherwise seal them up. The main weakness of the multi-TC Grand Frustrator compared to the single TC version is that the build comes with gaps in front of the loot chutes. Placing high external walls sealed them partially, but we were looking for a stronger solution. My dude Hacker Y proposed to use roofs to seal the gap. The idea is to place foundations in front of the gap and then place roofs onto them. Fred and I kept improving the approach on the live build and found a way to build up to 5 roofs to completely seal the gap until the 3rd floor. Building this seal requires to follow the following build steps in exact order. And to build this without no clip, it's best to have a ladder on you. Put down triangle foundations to form a Pac-Man, that is, a hexagon with one triangle missing. Place 2 full walls and triangle floors on top of them. Place a half wall and a full wall here, and then place 2 more triangle floors. Then you can destroy those last 2 walls. Place another triangle floor on each of the levels on this side. Now place a single triangle foundation connected to the other external TC. Place a temporary twig floor here and use the ladder to climb onto it. Now place the roofs top to bottom. It might take a time to find the right angle, but as you can see, it works. Don't place the lowest roof yet. Instead, place 2 full walls here. It can take some time to find the spot from which the upper one can be placed. Now destroy the lower one and place the last roof onto the foundation. Then replace the lower wall. Now start upgrading. Upgrade all roofs, foundations and floor tiles to sheet metal. The walls can remain stone. Finally, place 2 more walls on each of the sides and upgrade them to stone as well. And voila, the gap is sealed. The seal adds about 400 metal frags and 200 stone upkeep per day to the external TC, which I believe is absolutely worth it. These are the main lessons we have learned so far. Thanks again to Eric and all the other people who joined the Zerg and made this live build possible. I'm really proud of what we have achieved together. I hope these tips help you to build your very own multi-TC Grand Frustrator. Until then, Evil Wurst out.